Hello, I'm Gavin. This is our project for the vehicle renting system. And the first class we're going to talk about is the customer class. Our partner Daniel actually did this class, but we did heavy editing on it because he wasn't able to be with us for part of it. But basically all that goes in here is the name, address, date of birth. And we decided to do the contracts under the customer. And here's our constructor who just sets your name, address, date of birth. We have, because of our private address, private date of birth, and private contract, we have to create getters and setters for each of those, which is get contract, get address, get date of birth, set address, set date of birth. And then we have this toString class, which will just return the name and address. That's for when we, later on, when I create the list of customers. That way you can see which customer you're working with for the search. And then the report, when you click the generate report, it'll generate a string for the report. And then that's the customer class.
Alright, I'm Isaac, and this is the contract class. Basically, there's two private variables again, so we need getters and setters for those, which is the date of rent, and then we created a rented cars variable using a vehicle array and limited the number of vehicles each customer can have to 3. I mean, it's just a liability issue. Don't want them renting more than 3 vehicles. And then again, here's our constructor, and then the getters and setters for the private variables. That's it for that one. Then the vehicle class, this is like a very big class. It's for, it's a super class technically. It's got every single thing that most of the vehicles have in all of the classes. So it would just be make, model, year, miles per gallon, color, engine type, number of seats, and then customer. Here's the constructor for that. And the idea behind this class is that the other types of vehicles, so like bus, truck, motorcycle, SUV, and sedan, share these similar variables. Like a few of them have some ones that are unique, but just so that it makes it easier and we don't have to define these variables in every single class, we made it a super class, and that allows us to only put the variables that are unique to that specific vehicle in the other classes. And then again, we have the report that Gavin already talked about. Bus. There's also a bus. This one's pretty simple, just uses the super, so it calls whatever's in vehicle, and then specific to bus is number of floors. So obviously then the report then calls the super, and then number of floors.
My name is Nathan. So this is the truck class. And much like bus, it also calls from the superclass vehicle. So the unique variables for truck is type and load, because for type there's 3 different types. There's light, medium, and heavy, and then load was just how much in kilos or in tons the vehicle was able to hold. So you use the getter and setters. There's a constructor right there, and then for the setter we have a little bit more, and then the report for the tester when we tested it and during the unit testing portion.
Well, yeah, but
This is motorcycle class. So much like before, it also calls from the super class, and unlike the other classes, though, we just took under the assumption that there'd be only one person driving the motorcycle, so it's only 1 seat. Hence why the number of seats variable is not here along with this. And then also reporting another report function for the unit testing we did for that.
So Monty, I was in charge of the SUV class. It was nothing special. It was like the other classes before you. It uses a super from the vehicle and the report, like the rest of them. And sedan, not that much different, calls from the super.
then for our main class, basically we create an array of, because we didn't have a database, we created an array of customers, an array of vehicles, and then we created the main menu, which is part of the UI. I did all the UI. We created default data values here for like different types of vehicles and customers and stuff like that. So all these were vehicles, all these were customers. As you can see, we got a little example of polymorphism here because we got motorcycles and vehicles, buses and vehicles, SUV and vehicles, because they all extend vehicle. And then here's basically what our program looks like. Up here, we have vehicle renting. So this is the main screen. It'll give you customer options and vehicle options. Under the customer options, you can click on it, you can create a new customer or search a new customer. You click search customer, it'll pull up our default ones, which is just all these, values here. And if you click on one, you can generate a report. I knew what happened. It didn't have a vehicle. It's fine. You can create a new customer, which requires you to put your name, date of birth, and address in. So like, if I wanted to add a new customer, you can just be like, Gavin Newman, date of birth, 08, 31, 1999, and then address, just put a random address. There we go, finished. You search customer, you'll see at the very bottom that I'm in there. Then, for vehicles, same thing. You can create a new vehicle, search a new vehicle. You search a new vehicle, you got all these different types of vehicles here, which is their default ones, and you can generate a report on these. So, generate a report. You can see it'll say make, model, the customer, the year, mile per gallon, the color, engine type, and number of seats.
So if you can assign some new vehicle and then just re-show
Okay.
the customer thing.
Same thing, new vehicle. If you click on it, like truck, it'll add your values there for the truck ones. Bus, number of floors, and it'll dynamically change the UI depending on the case for each vehicle. And then if you want to assign a vehicle to a customer, you just go to your search. So like let's say Shaquille O'Neal over here. We're gonna contract him a new vehicle. You have to put in your date first. So like let's say today is 05/06/2024, and we want to do it to a year later, so 05/06/2025. It'll work. If I don't put in the right date format, it'll let me know when I click off of it. It says enter it in that way. So I can just put that there. And then you can set your price at like $5,000 per year. And then add. So here you can add your vehicles. So it just brings up the search box again for all vehicles that are not like assigned to somebody currently using that customer value. So we can give Shaquille a Ford Focus. We can give him a Volkswagen second generation 1979. And then it'll be on there. If we want to remove the Ford Focus, we can. It'll come back onto the list, as you can see up here. And the Volkswagen's gone. So that's how that works. Once you close the contract, it'll automatically save it, so you don't have to worry about that. You can generate a report. And under the report, it'll show you their name, address, date of birth, and the cars they have rented. And that's basically how the UI works. The conclusion of our thing is, even though the UI and everything like that, like, it's functional and everything like that, we agreed that if we had the opportunity to do this again, we can make it better and make it more visually appealing and more functional.